All right, yo. Are we live? I think we are. Oh, look how good. How good's that? No malware on my computer. Not getting hacked today. This is not my main crypto computer either. All right, let's have a look. Multi-stream. I think we're on Twitch and YouTube, so I'm just gonna have a look. We'll wait to see if anyone comes in. Tato. I love Tato's memes consistently. Just trying to cheer up price discussion. Oh man, must be some people losing their shit, right? Losing their shit. Let's wait for the bunch. All right, cool. We got 10 people on. What's up? Say in the chat. I think I got 10 viewers. I got no idea. I don't have YouTube on the other channel, so definitely pop some questions in the chat. We're gonna look at a bunch of stuff. Ooh, VIS is taking some hits. All right. Oh, here we go. 6 point. Let's have a look. Are we gonna make it to 4.1? I thought it was 4.4. I couldn't remember where I had the chart set. All right. So 6.7 was probably the last line of defense. And we're starting to get a little bit oversold in the RSI too. We were. Got that nice support zone. All right. Yo, cheap reading. Yeah, what's going on, dude? Yeah, I thought I'd just do this live. I recorded a video yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. But all the things that I was talking about in the video were very bearish for VIS, and I had my claim in 2 days, and I was very selfish and didn't want to put the video out until I could claim and burn and sell some pega. It's a zero-sum game. I'm looking out for number one first. All right. All right. Let's get into. I'll try and just recreate the video of what we did. So I normally do my videos in one take, so live shouldn't be a problem. What are we looking at? Hey mate. So look, if we're looking at the VIS chart, that was the next level of support. We broke down from here. That was broke, came back, retested, come back down, next level of support. So we're just waiting on this. I thought 4.4 was the next level. I don't know where I got that from. 4.1 is where we're looking at now. If this doesn't hold, however, we're pretty low on the RSI. We can bring that up. Yeah, RSI is already getting to the oversold. That's on the 1 hour. What's the 4 hour look like? Yeah, we're starting to get low on that 4 hour too. I could probably count these candles backwards, but this is where I don't mind taking positions or taking some entries. So we've got MACD. We're still far apart. Histograms in the bottom still looks terrible. However, if we go back, this is probably the lowest we've been. Yeah, so this is the lowest we've been here on the MACD as well. We can exit that. RSI. We are nearly as low as we were a couple of candles ago. 20 is pretty low. You can see we did live in 80s for a while, but still pretty low. It's this is the time I'm buying I'm buying things, not when RSI is I'm much rather buying it here on support, with the RSI that low. So if you look over to the left, we've got that level of support here. We've been there multiple times. We've also been here on the first time round when we made our way down, and you can see the first time here when we had that first run up to 16 cents or wherever we went to. We had it as resistance, came back, pulled back into that level. So it's a pretty strong level. If this level holds at 6.7, we might be good for a bit. But again, all I'm really looking for, without any changes in other things, which we'll talk about later, is just a retrace and then sort of see what happens from there. I don't mind if we bounce between 6.7 and 9.5. Like if we just ranged in here, awesome, that's fine. It's just this horrendous selling pressure that is just destroying the price of VIS. And there's lots of it, not just scholars, also managers. We've seen some in the manager chat, people dumping like 300k VIS in one transaction, just not caring about slippage. Not good. Yeah, Alex, that's what I'm looking at, mate. The liquidity is horrendous, and that's our problem. At the moment, we don't have anything. If we go over to here, we're still 86% burned. So everything else fundamentally, all good. Burn rate's good. Circulation is as good as it can be, but burn rate's good. Everything else is good. The problem is our liquidity, and we'll get into that in a sec. I think I've got the document. Yeah, I got the document up here. So everything else looks good. Like fundamentally, nothing has changed. Oops, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want. So fundamentally, nothing has changed within the game or any of the economics, except for every 15 days we have a bigger number. So we're still burning the 86%, but the 86% of a much bigger number every 15 days because we're burning so well. So it's kind of a gift and a curse, right? So we've got the opposite problem of what Axie had, where they weren't burning enough and they were sitting at 10 to 20%. However, we are burning too much, so we're adding way too many more Pega. And all those new Pega are then making more and more VIS, so then it compounds on itself in the next 15 days. We've got a new problem, and let's just get into it now. All right, so I used... Just let me also drink my coffee 1 sec. I'm going to just mute myself so I don't slurp into the mic. Thanks, guys. Sorry. Coffee number 4 for the day. I'm just going to bring the chat up so we can see everything as well. Let me just make sure that's up on the other screen. Converted some to PGX. You sold 165,000. Well, Matthew A, down 65% in 7 days is ugly, but the reason is because you just sold 165,000 VIS, dude. You can't whinge about it going down 65% when your market's selling 165,000 of them into a super shallow liquidity pool. Like, that is the problem. This is the reason why we're going down, is because people are doing exactly what you've done. Stacking Dr. Valentine's event. Yeah, 15-day cash out all in the same time. 100% correct, Alex, as well. With people that probably missed out on some of the tickets for Valentine's Day, had a bunch of extra cash, and or had a bunch of extra VIS. Let's make this one here. And the thing is, right, people weren't taking profits in VIS while we were bullish. They were burning and they were selling Pega, burning, selling Pega, and everything was good. As soon as we went bearish and the market structure changed and we started creating this triangle, people just started being like, "Oh, fuck, I'm getting out. I'm just gonna sell my VIS before it dumps. I'm gonna get out before everyone else does." And then it just causes that cascading effect. And it's mostly because we have such a shallow liquidity pool. If the liquidity pool wasn't so shallow, we wouldn't be having anywhere near these kind of problems with massive movements here. Right? So we've dropped. Where are we? From all-time highs, we're back 72% in a matter of a claim. 13, not even a claim, like 13 days. So not even one full cycle, 73%. It's pretty rough. All right, let's have a look. You minted over 800,000 dollars a fraction. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You know, it's because it's so shallow, like 100 and like 150 or 160, whatever, or 180, whatever it was that you sold. If enough people do that into a liquidity pool that only has 9 million VIS, like it's just so shallow. You can see the daily volume on this. It's like it's nearly 5 times the volume than there is in actual liquidity. If you look over the month, it gets so much worse. And it's probably bringing in some traders on Kyberswap who've been sitting at number 1, 2 for so long. Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm not saying you can't support anyone, but maybe sell some Pega, maybe burn it and sell some Pega with that 150 and be responsible as managers. Like, it is what it is though, right? It's you should be able to sell a small portion of your VIS and turn it into PGX. You know, that should be a thing that is fine, except when we've got liquidity pool. So anyone that is, you know, like, why is the price going down? If you've sold any VIS, then that's the reason why, and it just is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it until we get more stability and money in the liquidity pool. But no one wants to do this either because of impermanent loss. Even from here, if we bounce back up, like, it's just so volatile. Like, it's 13 days, 73% down. You don't want to be having that kind of impermanent loss. You're waiting for it to come back up to 25 cents again, if it ever does, to not cop that massive loss. And it's so quick, the swings back and forth, that the 800% might not be worth it. Yeah, cool, man. That's good. You got 120k PGX? Awesome. But the thing is, burning the VIS rather than selling it in the market helps the economy, right? And we need big guilds to be doing that kind of thing, all as a combined effort. Are you in the guild chat? Have you added to the liquidity pool, Matthew A? It's 1,000% now, is it? It's worth it, yeah. Like, at this point here, like, when I get my claim in a couple of days, like, if we're ranging in between here, I'm very, very happy to put some more into the liquidity pool and keep topping it up. I was putting it in about 16 and 14 cents. But I'll put more in here because it's more likely that we're going to come back to 7 cents, right? So my impermanent loss at some point, if I don't need the money, if I don't need it to be liquid and I can just add it and just let it sit there in the liquidity pool earning that interest, it's going to come back to 6 cents at some point. These are good levels to be adding liquidity to the pool. Yeah, Brian, we probably would be, right? I don't have an impermanent loss calculator up, but depends how long you're leaving it in there for. Like, essentially, what you want to do with liquidity pool is, if I add liquidity now at 7 cents, I'm going to want to take it back out at 7 cents and then just collect all the fees. And at some point, it's more likely to going to be able to come back to 7 cents more often than it is to be going back to 22 cents. If that makes kind of sense. But we're going to hit 7 cents a lot more than we're going to hit 22. So, like, this is a much better spot for everybody to be banding together and bolstering up this liquidity pool. I know there's a lot of people in the guilds chat that are advocating for this. I don't think a lot of people are going to be adding it in. And at this price, it's a lot better to add in for most of us as well, because obviously we don't want to support everyone. Like Matthew said, it's not really our jobs, but it kind of is. If we want a more stable price in VIS, and we just kind of have to suck up some impermanent loss. But as I was saying, if we're getting some crazy 1,000% returns on the APR or APY, then it's not a bad spot to be adding some liquidity, especially with the volume that it's getting. It's getting smashed in volume. Like, your fees that you'll be getting back are going to be pretty good. We need more burning. Yeah, we do need more burning. But the thing is, all right, so this is probably a good time to get into the next bit. Our burning is actually really good. We're still at 86. And if you look at this, and we're at 86% as burn. And part of the problem that there's no liquidity is because most of it's been burnt. There's only 14% of VIS ever made that is circulating, and a lot of it is probably in that liquidity pool. Yeah, Matt, that's cool, man. It's it is what it is. What is this? I'm accidentally clicking things. All right. So this was the video that I was looking at. This is back when we only had 7 million. So we've gotten a couple more million pulled from then, all right? I pulled all this data. Where are we? I was not set up for any of this. So I pulled all this data from here where we've had the daily mints and how many Pega we had. So a lot of it's just sort of rough estimations, but on December 15th, we had 29,000 Pega, and they can make, as an estimate, 152 million VIS during this next claim. It's obviously not perfect because people are going to be breeding, holes that are able to race, in the next day. So there's going to be more VIS minted than this, but this is just a rough, close enough guess. It's sort of just, it's only here to sort of get to the point of when we're looking down further along the track, and it's just trying to make the point of the compounding amount of new pega and how much that really affects how much VIS is available. Even if we're burning 86%, the actual number of VIS gets way higher if we're burning 90, right? So where I have it as circulating, or what I really meant to be writing in here, was how much is going to get sold off. So if we look back at historically, if we're going on Apollo, let's say it's 90, it normally has got back towards 90 just before the claim. So we've just had a claim. I'm going to expect this to go back towards 90. I've seen it go up as high as 92 for an overall burn. So let's just leave it at 90. So if we've got this, and those pega make 152 million, and I'm only working that out on each pega is making about 5,200 per claim period, 350 a day with the true RNG, and 29,000 pega making it at 350 a day. So 152 million. So we're going to try and there's going to be 15 million VIS in that period that isn't going to be burnt and is going to be circulating. So that can be dumped on the market, and a lot will probably get sold. If we look at here, 50%, even if we say 50% gets sold, 50% that are in this bucket, whether it be bots, whether it be people market renting, people most likely are going to be taking profit if they're renting these things. It's just how it is. If they're renting it for PGX, they're probably going to be selling it as well, or they're going to be trying to start up their own stable. But most of the time, I've been talking to my scholars, a lot of them are still holding some VIS, which is good. But if we look at, where is it? I didn't bring it up. It's not that one. There was only 29,000 wallets that were holding VIS at the moment, and currently we have 187,000 pega. So there was only, on Polygon Scan, I don't even know where I find it, I had another tab somewhere, but on Polygon Scan there was only 29, there was like just under 30,000 wallets that were holding VIS, and we got 187,000 pega. Now even if those wallets, if all of them were holding 3, and they were all renting or whatever, that's 90k. We're still not even halfway there. So what that tells me is that a lot of the wallets that had VIS, as soon as they cash it, they dump the whole lot straight in the market. It's gone. Or they're combining it into a single wallet, which is probably breaking terms of service at some point. But the fact that there's only 30,000 wallets that hold VIS currently, and there's 187,000 pega, I'm going to assume that scholars are most likely dumping this on the market. Now, which is fine. That's just what scholars do most of the time. Not knocking them for it. However, when we've got this much liquidity in the pool, it starts becoming a problem the longer we go along. All right. So the longer we go, and the more of that 10%. So like all we're doing is adding. If we are adding more scholars, or adding more, managers that are dumping VIS as well, the further we go along, that number becomes a lot bigger and a lot quicker. So we're averaging at about 50. I looked at all of them. I think it's 57% if I add them up and divide them by 4. We're at 57% increase on pega. So 15th of December, this is historic. We had 29,000. The next claim, we had 44,000. January 14th, we had 69,000. Giggity. 29th of Jan, 113 and 179,000 on that last claim just before Valentine's Day. So I'm going to estimate that future claims are going to have about a 57% increase if we're looking at historical. And Axie, note here that Axie's is for every 15-day claim, SLP is about 3,000 million. All right. Sorry guys, I'm just having a look at the chat as well. I would tend to go off on my own little sort of rants, but I'll double check the chat as well. Yeah, burn is not the main concern. Liquidity is our main concern. And an unpopular opinion is we need to cut the supply. In my opinion, we need to cut the supply side. Same as Axie did. I've been spruiking it, cutting supply side for ages. No one ever wants to listen to it. But I think we could be here. I'll do another video at some point and work out this. I'll probably do this one up properly at some point too, but I thought I'd just jump on for live. So if we're looking at this, Axie is minting 3 billion, I think 3,000 million. Yeah, 3 billion every 15 days of SLP. And at the moment, we're going to be making that, and we're going to catch up with Axie. So we got our next claim, 13th, which will be the 28th of Feb. Oops. 28th of Feb. We're going to have to move these all down. I'll put the 18th of Feb. Misclicks. That's going to be the 28th of Feb. And that will be the 15th of March, I think. And that should be the 30th. And let's make that the 14th. Sorry, guys. All right. So the 28th of Feb, this next claim that we've got from where we are, where if we get the same 57% increases we've seen over here, we're going to be sitting at about 281,000 Pega. And those Pega, if all of them are racing, they're not all going to race, but let's just say that they are for argument's sake, they're going to be able to make around about nearly 1.5 billion VIS, that claim. And if we're going on historical of how much is getting burnt, so we're leaving 10% off, which has pretty much been where we have been, that liquidity pool is going to have to handle 147 million VIS being sold, or somewhere in probably anywhere between half. So it's going to have to try and deal with 70 million VIS being sold, and you can see here the pooled VIS at the moment is only 9 million. So we're going to have some huge problems. Is all that making a bit of sense now for people watching? Like how quickly this can start getting out of hand. Our next one, we're going to have 441. We're nearly at 500,000. They're going to make 2.3 billion VIS. And then if we're dumping 10%, even 5%, so like let's say 10% doesn't get burned, 5% we'll cut that in half, and 5% gets dumped on the market, which definitely happens. We're going to be looking at 115 million. The next one, we're going to be looking at like 180 million, and we've got 9 million in the liquidity pool. This is a giant problem, and we're not going to have people coming in. Like we need for this to stabilize, and like let's not even talk about liquidity pools. If this is going to stabilize as a game, we need new investors or people coming in and buying the other side. So if we're looking at, at sell pressure being 180 million, we need people coming in and buying 180 million on the other side from new investors and things like that. And it's the numbers just get so big so quick because of how much VIS each Pega can make every day. Like Axie now is just so much different. Let me try and bring that one up. Where are we? Duplicate. That docks in my other screen. Oh, hang on. Maybe I will. That's the one. Sorry, I was not prepared for any of this live. I just thought I'd chuck it on. You can see, like, the mint to burn is disgusting for Axie. But the minted amount has just come down so much. So it's literally halved because they've halved the supply side, or even more than half the supply side, where they took away the, I suppose for an average player, they're probably sitting at about 75 now, 70 to 80 SLP a day rather than getting that 150. So they've halved the supply side. So there's going to be so much less minted, but their problem is that no one wants to burn either. So like the burn rates were 40 and now they've gone to 20. So the ratio is still the same, but there's less actual SLP. Like they have to deal with all of this red at some point. Like it has to go somewhere. Otherwise it's just sitting in circulation that nobody wants. the good thing with Pega is that we don't have that problem. Like the amount in between is what is it, 200 million at the moment. But if we look here, it's like, by the 14th of April, we're going to have 1.1 million Pega, and then every 15 days, it's going to pretty much 1.5x, right? So the next time it's going to be another 500,000 Pega, so it's going to be 1.6. The claim after that, by the time we're going to hit 10 million pretty quick. I'd like to do the math properly on it and have a look at 57%, sort of when we get there. But because we're getting so many Pega, it's not the amount of Pega, it's the amount that they make every day and how small the liquidity pool is and how much we need the other side to balance. So the further we go along, we need more people coming in from the other side as new investors, and we need 50% more investors coming in every 14 days. Just because of how much each Pega makes. Like the ROI is crazy, right? If we got, what does a Pega make? Let's say we're breeding 3 times. That's 24,000 for 3 breeds, right? So let's say 8,000 VIS, and then how much do they make? What was it, 52.50? So 1.5 claims times 23 days. So if you're breeding 3 times on average each of those 3, the ROI is 23 days. It's too short, and it's just destroying the compounding of how much circulating VIS there is, and especially while we're just at the mercy of this tiny liquidity pools. It's just going to cause absolute havoc. Like halving that not only helps the price of VIS in the short term, like bringing it from 175 like VIS per race down to like half that, like 100 VIS per race. Cutting the supply side, and at the same time adding on the cooldowns, which I know they've been talking about, but also I'm looking at them upping the breed cost. They need to slow the. Then we want to be able to keep. This mint rate, this burn rate, 86%, but we need to slow the amount of new Pega, so then we can slow how much this jumps every 15 days. Because soon this is like, you're better going to be able to see the first, where it was like, we were minting 1 million a day. Now we're minting. Let's look at it just in random. Now we're minting 46. Like, it's gone very quick, and it's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claims. Cutting the supply side down for races, upping the cost for breeding, should help move the floor costs. Should stabilize VIS a bit, because we're going to run into problems, and especially liquidity problems at the moment. Traders are on this a little bit, but as soon as we start getting down, and like by April, we're then minting as much VIS as Axie is minting SLPs, and they've got 10 million, whatever it is, daily average users, and we'll have like 600,000. So like the amount of tokens out there, like if you look at how much you would get from each, say if you had 3 Pega, you're going to be making, if you own all 3 Pega, you're going to be making like 15,000 VIS every 15 days. If you own 3 Axies, you're going to be making hardly anything. Like you're making what, maybe like 75 a day, like 1125 SLP. You're going to be making 15 times more VIS than SLP in the same time period. It's going to cost you way more to buy that than it is. But even then, like, while we only really have Axie to look at, like, this can't compound this far out. And like the only other thing is like make breeding less attractive, but then all you do is just kill the burn rate, and then people are just going to dump VIS in the market. What do you do? It seems to have worked with Axie, right? With look at SLP, they cut it in half. and now people are making barely. They're making half what they were in SLP, but it's worth 3 times more. So let's say they had like 100 SLP back here at what? Oh, that's not even the dollar. They had said that they were making 100 SLP a day at 1 cent, so they're making $1. Now they're making 50 SLP at 3 cents, so they're making $1.50. So while they're making less SLP and helping with cutting out all this extra sort of floating SLP and things like that, the actual money is the same. It's the same thing as when we were looking at it, saying, you know, with scholar shares, like if we can keep the burn and mint good, which we have, everyone's done an awesome job with that. We don't have this problem with Axie, but now we seem to have found a new problem where we're just getting daily average, or where the growth of Pega is just at 57% because we're burning so much. So I honestly don't know what the fix is. My things would be to give it a try, is halving the rewards, and halving the rewards and upping the breed costs, especially for 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully the floor will move with it. It normally should, but if we can up the breed costs or do that and push that ROI out, at the moment, what did we say before? It was like 23 days if we were breeding 3 times. Like, you shouldn't be able to recoup 100% in 23 days. It's not sustainable. Actually had it there for a while in their super hype phase in July, and you can see what happened after that. It needs to be something reasonable, like 12 weeks to ROI, so then it makes people want to stay in the game longer and have more skin in it. And hopefully that will Splinterlands, or could be, hey, or why don't we just jump into Splinterlands? Number 1. Alright, let's have a look. Sorry guys, I missed all the chat. I went on some super rants. Let me have a look and read through some of this chat. Do I have idle crypto funds laying around? Yes, I do. Not dumping into VIS and Pega. I've got my Pega money, and I got my Pegas, and I've got my investment that I've got in this, and it just sort of, that's its own thing. But I've got it for other things. It's turning into Axie before our eyes. It's like, it is, Matthew, but it's the opposite, right? It's the opposite problem we have. Axie had all this circulating SLP that no one wants. And we've got hardly any circulating, but no liquidity. Only hold to breed. Cons of listing VIS and PGX in a major exchange at this moment. I don't think there's any. But the teams have obviously got their targets of when they want exchanges. I know that I see someone wrote crypto.com, and I haven't heard it from Corey's mouth, but other people have been talking about where they've got 100 daily active users, and using that to be the sort of the target of where we're looking for a centralized exchange. But I don't know enough to speak about how much a centralized exchange will make a difference. I don't know where they get their funds to then start the order book. Like when it gets on order, people just ape into the order books. Is that how it works? I got no idea. Someone help me out, because I don't know what the process is of when it gets listed onto the exchange, how they have the order books already set up. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm just never bothered to learn. Yeah, cut Pega earning in half. 100% agree. 1 million visited 15 days. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, there's no liquidity for you to exit some of it, and you'd have to then sell Pega, and it's going to take you a long time to sell to breed and then list and sell all those Pega, which is not bad if you can get some good money for it. But average 50 a day. 30 ROI to 60 ROI. 60 day ROI would be much better. I know Axie lived at like 12 to 13 weeks for a long time when it was a lot more stable. That was when I got into it back in October. It was like, it's close to 60 days, and then it sort of went to 13 weeks was the max, then went crazy to like It's probably like 10 days or something in July. Yeah, so crypto.com, main exchanges, Aussie Love. Yeah, what's up, dude? Look for provide my VIS in the pool. I don't have that much VIS, but I am providing VIS in the pool. So yeah, there is some in there, but now I'll be supplying more. Now we're at these levels. I don't want to supply VIS when it was 20 cents because I didn't think it was stable at 20 cents. I was selling Pega the whole way up. I exited most of my Pega at like 22 cents. I sold so many all the way up, and then I had to go through and start rebreeding again. And now I'm back to expanding. But I wasn't willing to put it there because I don't think we were going to stay at 20 cents for very long with VIS. And for me to put money into a liquidity pool, I want it at a level like this that we're going to come back to, so I don't get too much impermanent loss if I have to pull my funds out. Like I don't want to be sitting there waiting to get 22 cents again to then take my money out of the liquidity pool. Incentives of breeding 7 to 7. I think that's coming. Matthew, are you in? Yeah, everyone stops at 3. And I think the other problem is, right, that we did see here, and I did speak about this in the other video, is that when there was levels around here where breeding the third time wasn't profitable. And that's where we saw people stop buying VIS from the market, and we saw the demand, and you can see the volume sort of taper off. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to dox myself. I was going to bring up one more thing. I'm just going to pause this screen for 2 seconds. I don't know what's going to come up when I open some of the things up. Be right back. 1 sec. Alright, cool. Be right back. Still works there. Poggers. Nice. Alright, so remember which... Oh, that's not the right screen. Which screen do I want? Gaming? I don't know. I don't really use live. Cool, I'm not doxing myself anyway. Perfect. Alright, so this was... this was when the fourth breed was profitable. This is how I was... this is my breeding, right? I was selling both of these. I got to keep 2 free HODs every 7 days. And we'd restart again with those. It was super profitable to breed. It went down to the calculator here. At some point, it became less profitable, right? So the floor must have been, let's say, like 1,100, something like that. So we had it not be profitable for that third breed. So everyone stopped. And I did ask some people in the guild's channel, and everyone else stopped as well. And I was only breeding to 2 because it wasn't profitable to breed that third one. So when it wasn't profitable to at least breed 3, this was a 3 farm. So I would breed, oops, where are we? There we go. HOS 1, HOS 2. We breed here, right? So we breed 1, 2, 3. We'd end up selling baby 3, keep 1 and 2 to start the farm again, and we would sell parent 1 or 2. Normally the one with a higher win rate, just because people are silly and buy things for more money with higher win rates. So at this point, I've sold 1 HOS, and I've sold... So at this point, I was doing a baby, selling 1 HOS here. So the HOS here at that point was like 1,600. And this is back when VIS was high, and I was selling one of these versions, which was nearly 3,000 US. With that 1,500 and that 3,000, I was then buying 4,500 VIS from the market. So I would sell these 2 horses, and I would be buying VIS to start this whole breed cycle again. So there was 4.5 grand worth of VIS that I was buying every 3, 4 days, 5 days, for every HOS farm. And a lot of people were doing the same thing. As soon as that third one became not profitable, you can't have a self-sufficient farm. So all the breeders weren't buying $4,500 worth of VIS for every HOS farm every couple of days, and that's where the liquidity dried up. Not liquidity, the volume dried up, and we started to see it here because it wasn't profitable. If we get it now to become profitable, and we start getting a bit of a bounce, I'm happy for this just to have some stability sideways. Anywhere between 6 and 9.5 cents, I'm stoked. But if we can get that third breed up, all these breeders are going to keep expanding their farms again, the same way as we're doing here. I'll start expanding my farms again. If I can get a free HOS every like 5 days, I'm stoked. And then I'm also contributing $4,500 to buying VIS on the demand side in there to offset everybody else. But for that to happen, breeding has to stay profitable, and essentially what has to happen is that everyone has to agree to make sure that we're getting that third breed profitable. Stop selling your pega for too cheap. It's going to help everyone. It's going to help everyone if we can all just make sure that what we're selling the floor for is making sure it's profitable for breed 3, then we're going to be able to keep this going, and every breeder is going to be buying an extra $4,500 or whatever it is worth of a virgin sales, and if it was here, it'd be about $2,000. So whatever the price of is at the moment, it'd be about $2,000. I would then be buying per HOS farm every single 5 days. So it's just adding more demand to buying from the VIS pool, which will offset everything else. And buying pressure is fine because the price will go up. It's the selling in a low liquidity pool that is a problem. If we're buying, it's just gonna keep pushing the price up and up and up, which should push the floor price. But at some point here, the floor price wasn't moving the same percentage as VIS was, and we got into some trouble. Okay, yeah, prestige. Sorry, I went. I think Brian, percentage of Axie investors, I think there's still heaps more to come. I think they're waiting for these levels. So that they're probably pretty smart, and they didn't want to pay $3,000 a horse. So many people panic selling, and that's the thing. Like it's not going to take that much selling in low liquidity pool to really push this price down, and then everyone sees it going down, and everyone's like, "Ah, shit, I'm just going to dump it." What do you think will be announced later in the Insider? Hopefully, Corey's going to invite me to join the team. Nah, just joking. I don't want a job. I like not having a job. It's fun. I don't know. They've got their 6-week turnaround, so hopefully, I'm sure that everyone's been having discussions about liquidity. It is part of it. It's not the team's responsibility to add liquidity, but as those daily active users are coming up, they're going to hit that. They're going to hit that spot, and they're going to have to get a centralized exchange just because we need the volume, and the volume that is already here on KyberSwap should be enough volume. Am I going to dox myself? Hang on, I can look at my phone. Sorry, guys. I just want to bring up my Binance account in case I'm logged in. So if we're trading, let's have a look. Markets. Let's do spot. There's no BTC pairing. So volume. The worst volume on Binance is 13,000. That can't be right. 261,000. 200k, right? So we're if we look at the highest volume on Binance, fucking hell, we're pretty high, right? What are we? Daily volume 6 million. So at the moment, that would be gonna have to scroll down a bit. Let's find something that's 6 million. Dash USDT, IOTA, Zen, ONT, QNT, Unfi, Knowles. All of these things have 6 million worth of volume on Binance. ZIL, $6 million worth of volume on Binance. 1 inch has 5.34, so we've got more volume than 1 inch. Like it can handle a centralized exchange. There is enough volume for it to handle a centralized exchange. Like Raven, Key, STX, BAT, basic attention token. It's only got 4.52, and it's not like we have only had, this 6 million for a short period. It's been this for a long time. There's super amount of volume in a really low liquidity pool. So fingers crossed, central exchange listing would make a huge difference. Yeah, and that's it as well. It's like it's going to bring in, like, how many people don't know how to go into Kyber and trade this? If it pops up on crypto.com and they show some of the awesome videos that Pega have been doing, people are just going to, like, retail dumb money is going to ape the fuck in to this, because I was like, yeah, PGX is going to fucking boom. I hope that I've got enough PGX before we hit that major exchange. I should probably I might top up actually tonight, just before, in case they announce, because it's going to boom as soon as it hits a major exchange. People are going to see that as, like, similar to Axie. They're going to have a bit of a look, and we're going to get all that dumb money in, which will be awesome. That's what we need. That's our excellent. That's my excellent liquidity to retire. I'm going to put some in the pool. Yeah, I'm going to put some in the pool as well. At this point, we're going to come back to 7.7 at some stage over the next 2 or 3 months, and I'll just put some more in the pool that I don't need to be touching for now, and just earn a bit of APY. What is APY anyway? Let me have a look. The Kyber pools. I'm not logged in, so it automatically goes to Ethereum. Sorry, I'm just on the other screen. I'm just having a look what the APR is. USDT. Okay, 561%. Pretty good, eh? Definitely pretty good. At this point down the bottom, and like impermanent loss is much less at these prices than it is at 21 cents, because you have to make sure it gets to 21 cents again. Even if we fall down, we're probably going to be at 7. Even if we go up, we're going to be back at 7 at some point. VIS can't ever live above 15 cents. It's just too much, unless they dramatically cut the amount of VIS that you win from a race. Alright, let's have a look. I've got 55 people hanging out. This is good. I should be able to get pretty close to what is it? Monetize soon for YouTube. I might do more lives like this. If this is good, guys, let me know in the chat. If you guys like these lives, because normally when I do my videos, I do them all in one take anyway. So it basically may as well be live. I just chuck it into the editor and put the cool little intro at the front. Most of my shit is just random, just brain dumps that I will just chuck out there. How do we kill the whales? It's not the whales. We can't. There's just no liquidity. Our only problem right now is liquidity. That's the only problem that we have. Yeah, Matthew, 100% agree with that. To jump in, obviously never financial advice. Yeah, man, this looks good. Like, if you're entering, this is a much better entry price for VIS and for Pega than it was any time in the last couple of weeks. What's your downside? There's always going to be risk, but your downside's a lot less. From here, you could probably drop another 50% pretty easily too. But super strong levels of support. I can't really say yes or no, but it's we're better now to get in. There's less risk now than there was 2 days ago. Let's have a look. Why are they resistant to use a centralized exchange? It's definitely a matter of when the centralized exchange. Like, I know that there's always, like, everyone keeps saying about crypto.com that would be good. It's going to help, but what we want is like a Binance. What I really want is OKX, and I want a VIS futures perpetual contract, so I can lock in my price every single claim at some point during there, and I can hedge against it, like a traditional hedge against like commodities. That's what I want is is perpetual futures on OKX. So if Corey, if you watch this, OKX, that's where we want to go and get a perp contract too for me. Yeah, more likes with Bill. I love it. All right, cool, sweet, yeah. I like this prestige. When we go to 7, it's going to cause heaps of burning without adding more pega. So I think you're right. I think we need more burning mechanisms that don't add. We need to burn more VIS that doesn't result in making more VIS. So like Valentine's is great. That was like 42 million. That's, what is it, like 42 million? Let's divide that by 8,000. 42. That's 5,000 less pega times 5250. So that's 27 million less VIS that are going to be made in the next 15 days, and then compound that out everything. So we just saved ourselves. Oh, that's not 12. That's not it, is it? Times 2. We just saved ourselves that many. That many VIS. Too many zeros. In over the next year. 55 people from Discord worried about this price. 55 people from, this is like 55 people from price discussion. Just like, oh shit, how much money am I gonna lose? How bad can this get? All right, here for Hopium. I love Hopium too. I'm gonna mainline it into my eyeball. Do you think it will recover? Depends what you think about recover. Like anywhere between 4 and 6 cents. Like I'm happy anywhere between 4 and 6 cents. That's enough money for me. Each claim. Like this is crazy prices. That's why I was selling so many pega. And I was saying in all my videos, I'm selling pega. Shouting at Corey, I was like, I'm selling pega, and you can buy some pretty cool shiny shit when pega are this expensive. Play RR. So like, do you sell coins on support, or do you sell them on resistance? Yeah, market cap is tiny. What do we got? What's the circulating supply? What is it? 7.6, 0.07. What is a calculator? Or what is a calculator? 14862176778. How many is that? Take 128 1075700 times 0.077. That much? That should be market cap, right? It's strange though, right? Because like if you're looking at market cap, should you be looking at the market cap of Pega themselves, because they're mostly priced in VIS. Like if you look at like most Pega, they cost 8,000 VIS. That's how much they should be. Like when you're looking at market cap, should you be looking at the amount of actual Pega as well? Like how many Pega? Because each of them are probably worth another like 8,000 VIS a pop, or they're worth at least what, $600. That's a tough call. I never even really thought about it until you just said that market cap. Drop some background beats. Nah, I can't be bothered, man. I was only jumping on for a quick couple of minutes, and has now turned into 54. I should do that though. Floor breed Hoz back to January 15th price. Enter for some money. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see a bunch of Axie people come in. When do you sell Pega? Do you put the profits into PGX Moonbag? I took a bunch of USDT out from 22 cents worth of Pega sales, so I sold a stack of Pega. Where were we? At 22. That was my target, 22. It went up higher, but I sold pretty much all the ones I wanted to sell at 22. It did go higher. I didn't quite catch the top, but I'm happy that I sold enough here for USDT. I've always got my moon bag. I'll sell like a couple of Pegas worth every claim and move that across into my moon bag of PGX. The bag's getting heavy, which is good. So it's not quite there yet. So I would rather not have a centralized exchange just yet. Hopefully we can be sensible with our VIS selling to market over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, Corey, if they're not going to announce a centralized exchange, which I don't think they will, is that he drills into everyone's heads. Be careful when you sell, because there is no liquidity, and hopefully he can convince some more people to add some liquidity. I'll add some more when I get my claim. But yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. What I was really looking at was just this problem here, where we're going to get also April 1st, or April 6th. I'm calling 1 millionth pega. So get your stuff ready to get you ready to breed around the first week of April, because that's probably, if they don't change anything, that's probably when we're going to have our first millionth. And it looks like it'll be a crowned one too, the same with the other one. Hey Ricky, no worries dude. Stay safe at work over there, mate. Alright, I think that's it. 67 viewers. Yeah, monetized. Hopefully this like hour counts as like 67 hours, because I need like 4,000. I need 4,000 watched hours to make it monetized. So yeah. All right. Anything else anyone wants to look at before we go? That's pretty much about it. I've bricked nearly every single one of my trades. I've had a terrible trading month, but the only thing left alive is this. Also never financial advice. Looking this for my first take profit area. I don't know why that's there. I did get it, but it pretty much nearly got cleaned out. We got wrecked on Matic. Just fell straight through. What else did we get wrecked on? This is me showing how bad at TA I am this month. So you guys will come and sign up for a course at some point. Got wrecked here and got wrecked on Crow. I think Crow only just got but this was a heartbreaking one, right? We found the perfect entry. Like we found the break. I got, all right, cool, I'm buying this retest, and we got so close, and like the alert just never went off, and it came just back and just closed out. It sucks getting 99% of the way there and then it closing out. This would have pretty much broke me even for the month. I think I'm down 15% on account per month so far. So hopefully LRC can do its thing, and if we can get, I don't know why I've got that up so high. It's supposed to be here. We can get this one, we should be alright. That'll bring us back into the profit. 7.21 risk reward, hopefully. Let's see how it goes though. SLP thoughts. Alright, let's have a quick look. My alert went off to check. So we got a flag. Can you see the flag? Depends which way this flag breaks. Normally they do break up in an uptrend, plus we're above this 50 moving average. First time I've been above it for ages too. MACD's about to cross. I would be looking, but not until we get past that. So now I want that next level to be broken. So not that keen, although if it breaks, it's not the worst trade in the world, is it? Pretty much just before resistance. We can keep that stop loss. It's actually pretty good, 3.56. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. And just in anticipating the breakout to the upside, plus or above that, we can hold it below there. What does BTC look like it's doing? Yeah. At least we're back above here. It'll probably depend on what that's doing. We're back above the 52. Yeah. Looks alright. Hey Mike, thanks dude. I've had more time in my hands the last 3 months. Thanks to Pega, really. And Axie. Nothing to do with my fucking terrible trading. I loaded up a brand new account for this month, and we're 18% down already. So let's get that shit sorted first. A couple of really good traders I know as well are having a shit month, so I don't feel so bad. Biddy's just doing its thing, being super annoying, and we're sort of ranging sideways with no real trend. So hopefully we'll get it back up, but I'm looking forward to getting a proper trading account back up and running once I get my shit together. I think we expect 10 to 12 months stable. Team keeps doing their job. Yeah, it is, man. It's going to be like new investors are definitely way more willing to come in, and they can probably see that this is like there's nothing really wrong with the project. Like the team hasn't done anything wrong here. Our only problem is that liquidity, and we're getting like 5 times the daily volume that we have as liquidity. It's just a huge problem, and it's only gonna get worse in the next 3 or 4 claims, because we're gonna be trying to sell, 180 million, 285 million into a 7 million VIS pool. Unless we all put all of our claims in and just stop burning as much and put it all in liquidity pool until we find a centralized exchange. But managers don't want to do that either, because they're losing that. They're losing their 23-day ROI. So I got no answers. I can see the problems, but I got no answers. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off. That's just kicked over an hour. I might do some more lives if everyone liked it, and I'll just pop it in the thing. We can just go over and just talk some shit. I can make up a couple of slides. We can look at everything as it is. Hopefully live comes off alright as well. It's a little bit different than making the recorded videos, but I don't mind doing it either. It means I don't have to edit or upload either, which is awesome. Yeah, maybe there can be some cool incentives for like different tiers of liquidity providing. God knows what that's going to be though. But you can't force people to do it. Maybe a PGX rewards like they had for the PGX pool. You can stake if you could stake the LP tokens for USD VIS and earn PGX. That sounds pretty good. It would definitely make me want to do it more if we had that 700 to 800% like we did at the start of PGX. I was making so much per day. It was crazy because no one was in the pool and no one was staking at the very start. It was awesome. All right, I'm going to pop that in there into the thing, and I'm going to watch the Pega Insider tonight. Hopefully they got some cool news for us. But yeah, if you're not looking to be taking profits and selling Pega, this is for me personally, I expand while we're down, and while we're in a downtrend, and I'll expand more heavily and not sell very many Pega at all, and then I'll sell it on the way up. So I'm taking the profits here, so my ROI just gets chopped in half. So if we're getting like 20-day ROIs, and I start breeding, say we're still here, and then I start selling Pega, I'm suddenly getting like a 12-day ROI because VIS has gone up twice the price, twice as much, and the thing. So this is where I expand, and then I sell the whole way up. I didn't do that in Axie, and I very much regret it. So I'm not making the same mistake twice. All right, guys. Russia, late, way too late. What's up, dude? Hey, Russia. Sorry, man. Yeah, I did. Do you want to tell Corey just to incentivize us with? We've come up with some good ideas. We're going to incentivize liquidity pool by adding a PGX as a reward, like they had for the staking of the USD PGX. If they did that with the USD VIS, everyone wants to get in now because there's no impermanent losses basically gone because we're at such a nice normal level. But if we can stake these tokens, I know we're getting 500%, which that should be enough. But let's try and find something to stake. Get some money out the treasury. There must have been a shit ton from up here, right? From all the Pega that were getting sold. That 3% was huge. But apart from that, I think the other things was looking at this and seeing how much, like where we're going to be at Pega. So the next claim we're going to be at 281. The claim after that 441. Claim after that 692. Hit our million in like the first week of April. For us April Fools. But it's going to be double the Axie, and it's just going to keep going up at 50% per thing. And the other main point I reckon I was in here was each time here is that that's the 10% of the claim or the VIS that isn't getting from your Apollo. About half of that's probably getting dumped in the market. So we're trying to sell at least 70 million into a into a 9 million pool. So we're trying to sell 10x into a pool that doesn't have anything in there. So all in all, team's doing a great job. Game's still good. We just got a massive liquidity problem. So VIS is probably underpriced at the moment, and pegaxy are probably underpriced too, because it just looks way worse than it is. Because really, all we have is a liquidity problem. And our daily volume on whatever Kyber swap is like, it'd be like it'd be top 100 on Binance in volume quite easily. Oh man, tell Corey can have a chat another time. Yeah, I gotta go, dude. I gotta clean my house. I've already been on hanging out for an hour. Someone got banned from Discord. That's a Rocher thing. All right, guys. I jump off anyway. I actually got shit I need to do. I was only jump off for like 20 minutes. I'll try and redo this video in a short form for like a 12-minute plug, and I'll pop it up